What's going on, kings and queens? Your boy Byron, CEO of Sunrise Enterprise, and today we are back with another video. Alright man, so today we got something new, a new series I'm bringing out. Okay, it's called Let's Study This Wolf. And basically the concept of this is to go into ethnic groups and we're going to point out key players, you know what I'm saying? And so today we're going to be going over Lucky Luciano. Lucky Luciano was a American criminal mastermind, and he pretty much popularized the concept of having an organized, structured business ran as a criminal enterprise. We're going to be able to break down how Lucky Luciano is a wolf. The concept I use as wolf is to refer to, you know, there's wolf and there's sheep, right? And in this world, you either a wolf or you a sheep. I'm basically saying that in this world, you either helping someone else with their dreams or you're fulfilling your own and you're hiring people to help you with yours. You feel what I'm saying? You either a chess piece or you a chess player. Alright, you feel me? So let's study this wolf. Alright, so the concept that I thought about was something a little different. Alright, so with studying this wolf, right, we're gonna educate ourselves, right? Once we educate ourselves, we're going to infiltrate. Once we infiltrate, we're going to replicate. Once we replicate, we're going to integrate. And this is just a little concept that I thought of, Nipsey Hussle kind of gave me an idea of, was more so just to, you know, the spook who sat by the door, you know, to infiltrate, learn, and then go help your people out, you know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what we're doing right now. Alright, so Lucky Luciano came to America following the American dream when he was a kid. Now, a lot of Italians didn't come to America just because they thought that America was a better place. They was actually escaping Mussolini and everything that was going on in Italy back in the days, right? So when he came here in 1904, right, there was not much to go off of, right? This was an Italian kid coming to New York City, right? It was predominantly already ran by Jewish and Irish gangs, right? So being that I'm always an astute researcher, I'm always trying to figure out, you know, the psychology, the moment, the time. I'm trying to live in the shoes of the person, right? How did one race come to New York and completely dominate, right? When it came to, you know, racketeering, when it came to loan sharking, when it came to, you know what I'm saying, just the full underworld business was dominated within a few short years after the war kicked off, right? So he dropped out in 1916. I don't even think he made it to high school, right? So, but the fact that he didn't make it to high school and the fact that he didn't take the regular robotic existence, you know, the robotic existence is basically a form of doing the exact same thing for the rest of your life. No matter what you do, you're always gonna do the same thing and nothing's gonna change, right? So let's keep going, right? So when he dropped out in 1996, he joined a gang. It was a small New York gang, nothing too crazy. And so by doing this, he was able to understand the keys to running an organization because he was a part of the gang himself, right? And that's what I talk about, learning from greats, right? So once we understand who he was around and who he surrounded himself around, we can understand how things were to format themselves with, I forgot his name, Lansky, Bugsy Siegel, you know, a few different people that were smarter than him in certain subjects, and he was able to bring in advisors, and that's why they have the concierge, you know what I'm saying, which is a group of advisors. So let's continue. Alright, under Joe the Boss, Mazzarino or something like that. Basically, I don't know, man, something about short Italians, they had a lot of power, man, they had a lot of influence. I really don't know what about this particular dude struck so much fear in other people. So I always wanted to know why Joe the Boss stood out when he was not even that big. He was a little dude, You know what I'm saying? He was probably just trigger happy, right? So this is just the education of just to break down a little summary of it, right? So once we understand that he came under a prominent boss, right? We can understand that he powered his way up to the top through strategy, basically influencing others to see his vision, persuading other people to see his vision in order to want to go kill the boss. That way he rises up and takes, you know, power over, you know, structure of gangs or of the family. You know what I'm saying? Him doing this, he cements his legacy as a reformer. Once you can reform once you can reform the people, then you can obviously take power based on the benefits and the progression that you gain with those people. So that's the educate, right? Now we're going to and once he started to, I would say, you know, start to get people to see things his way, as far as creating a committee, creating a, you know, Murder Inc., creating a, you know, different areas of expertise. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody was a killer. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody was a money maker. So based off where you fit, that's where you were placed. He was able to establish levels of command, and he was able to build a whole family internationally and nationally. I got it right here. He built a national, international, world enterprise based off establishing levels of command around the country, from Tampa, from California, Vegas, pretty much New York, Chicago, everywhere. He was able to cement his dominance within the times of this enterprise that he established. So with rackets, bootlegging, gambling, and then loan sharking, and then of course, you know, prostitution is what he got arrested for. Out of all the money he made, the one thing that took him down, it was prostitution, human trafficking. Back in those days, it was still a big deal back in those days, right? And that's what got Lucky Luciano sent off to prison. The power plays is the organized bloodshed, established level of command, and then build national, international, world enterprise through basically networking and placing people in certain cities, right? And this goes into my concept of 50 niggas strong. So we got educate, infiltrate. Now we go off into replicate, right? How we can replicate a lot of ways is, one, we can give them a deal one can't refuse. I know if you've watched The Godfather, you've heard that term. You know, I'm gonna make him a deal he can't refuse. And basically it all goes into negotiation. It all goes back into persuasion. Giving people a deal they can't refuse. Amazon uses the same concept with anyone who wants to sell books, products, anything off their platform. You have to take the percentage that they require for you to do business with them, right? But only difference is with the mafia, if you didn't, if you didn't apply with what they wanted you to do, or if you was a problem, or if you went against whatever they were trying to get at, they'll just kill you, right? So number two is dominate the competition, right? So the examples I give is, you know, when Popeyes came out with the spicy chicken sandwich, right? And, you know, your next thing you know, you got all these other restaurants coming out with spicy chicken sandwiches, right? Another example is BK versus McDonald's. These brands are selling the exact same thing. They're experimenting with different marketing techniques to see what will trigger the audience to come in and pretty much make this thing viral. Nothing's different, right, with Pepsi and Coca-Cola. You know what I'm saying? And that was the same thing with the mafioso back then. You know what I'm saying? They pretty much dominated the competition. They pretty much monopolized the board. Number three is ability to recruit. Ability to recruit is no different than when I play football. I used to play football, right? I did not have the grades. I did have the athletic ability, you know what I'm saying? But I did not have the mentality to play Division I football, you know what I'm saying? And so the ability to understand that when you're being recruited, you have to have everything. That you have to have everything that comes with it. If you are a skilled soldier, right? But you don't know how to think, if you don't know how to educate yourself, you don't know how to apply yourself outside of being at war, you're not going to have a long career at war. And it's no different than when you're playing college football, when you're going to a high-end company like, you know, SpaceX, or you're going to Amazon, or you're going to anywhere in Silicon Valley, right? They're recruiting the best of the best, okay? And in order for you to make it into the team, you have to be able to present something that is a necessity, and you have to be almost a self-starter, a leader within a leadership. And it's no different than being in a mob. Like, a lot of people made money so many ways. You know, a lot of people own unions. A lot of people own restaurants. A lot of people extorted restaurants. A lot of people did security for billionaires and then made percentages off that. A lot of people put shit in place to where their grandkids will still be good. So then I have collaboration with others. The Marathon store integrated with Puma to basically give not only Marathon, you know, equity, but give Puma a way to kind of, you know, rise above all these other brands that already have the dollars to keep, to monetize and to monopolize the shoe game. By Puma integrating with Nipsey Hussle and understanding that Nipsey Hussle had a tight pull on LA, you know that hey, you got LA, you got the world, you know what I'm saying? And so for Puma to understand that Nipsey Hussle had the world in his hands, they were able to collab, and this is just an example of collaborating with others. So the collaboration with others, right, and how Nipsey Hussle collaborated, the Marathon store collaborated with Puma, is no different than how Bumpy Johnson and Lucky Luciano collaborated to make money in Harlem and all throughout New York, right? And then number 5 is organize your people. So this is a concept, this is a theory that I thought of, and I thought that it'd be dope to just bring and put it on my platform, right? So the idea I thought about was, what if Bloods and Crips actually came together, right? And I'm not talking about coming together on some gang shit, on some, you know, beef shit. No, let's take the smartest people and let's establish them into, leadership, right? Let's take the enforcers and establish them into a security, right? That way they can protect our leaders, right? So that they're not putting hits out on our people, right? At the same time, everybody that's a part of a Crip, if you're a part of a Crip, you have to have some type of enterprise. You have to have a business. You can't just bang Crip and you don't have a business. You know, you gotta have your net worth gotta be a certain amount. You have to have a certain amount of land for you to even join this gang. And when you join this gang, when you do have all those things, you know what I'm saying, you literally bring up the next generation. Killer Mike had a concept that was pretty cool, was taking, Cripocola and then selling it through the brand of Crips. I'm basically saying that what if both of these gangs, Bloods and Crips, right, took the same approach, right? Instead of rackets, bootlegging, gambling, and loan sharking, what if they took that approach with land, real estate, product development? Once we can organize the people, and once we can organize the skill sets, and once we can organize the structure of how this should go, I don't see why we can't dominate the culture. Blood rappers, like YG. YG has the influence of millions of people. Kendrick Lamar, that's a Blood, or a Blood affiliated. He has influence of millions, right? Crip, Nipsey Hussle, he has influence of millions. Integrate, how can we integrate what we've learned from Lucky Luciano in the setup and the enterprise of the mafia? Okay, so number 1 is make a deal you can't refuse, right? Negotiations, how Amazon pretty much dominates the market. Everything that if you owe them a percentage, you have to give them the percentage before you sell your product, right? If you go off into number 2, dominate the competition. Dominate the competition is basically, you know, there's no different than a Burger King and a McDonald's, a Pepsi or a Coca-Cola. It's all the same. That's exactly how they ran their companies, you know, and that's exactly what we need to learn from. We need to learn from the wolves, right? Number 3 is the ability to recruit. The ability to recruit is no different from colleges and companies, right? From the enforcers, having a balance and having a structure. You literally need to recruit a Super Bowl team in whatever you do, right? Just so you can have a successful company, right? Or a successful football team, or, you know what I'm saying, having the ability to persuade, having the ability to dominate, having the ability to recruit. All these things are very powerful tactics that Lucky Luciano was able to leave. You know what I'm saying? If you're able to peep it, you can leave, you can look at the story, but if you could peep what the man did, if you can look at the strategy, if you can look at what he was able to access and what he was able to do, we can really understand the concepts of what he was really able to get at, right? So then we got the blood and the Crips concept. Alright, so that's all I got for y'all, man. If you like this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. One love.